And welcome back to Wrath of Darkness. I'm Dirt,
I'm Pottsie FN. What's up, guys?
I'm FriedToast.
and we are the parents that game. So we took a while and got our heads together for some conversations here, and I actually got a good one. And I actually took some time to make a good one.
Oh, you
So
took time. Huh?
yes, I took some time. I mean, notice the beard. I'm kidding. So here's my question: what do you guys think about what a natural parent's attitude should be?
Uh, I mean,
Like, okay, here, let me elaborate a little bit because
yeah,
this is gonna go in a lot of depth here because a lot of people's gonna have different thoughts on it. So my thought is mm, like of a normal parent, their attitude compared to what a parent's attitude should be. Like, how do you like? What's the difference between the two, and how do you feel about those?
it would have to just be stern and laid back, honestly, if you think about it. Because there's
Okay.
really no actual natural attitude for a parent to have. It's just a
Well,
matter of how your kid views you as a parent and as a role model and source. It's not
Well, I
really like
mean,
an attitude thing. It's a kind of your appearance, your how you're viewed by your child, honestly.
well, if you think about it, and this is the kind of not play middle person here, but um, think of it
You
like
can be
this.
the person. It's cool.
Well, think of it like this. Most parents that you see nowadays are like very calmed, laid back, and kind of let their kids do whatever, throw a tantrum in stores, get whatever they want, you know. So, with that being said, you said you feel like a parent should be chilled and laid back. So, should they be that chilled and laid back? Or like,
I said I said stern and laid back.
okay, what do you mean by stern?
So like yeah, stern with because if you're being stern, you're gonna have boundaries. And
Hmm.
laid back, you're not gonna be so stern where you're super strict for no reason.
Okay, so kind of in the
Yeah.
middle of it. Okay, so the way that I see it, and I'm gonna go before Gage goes to kind of give Gage an idea. Um, I I think a parent should be a person that is, always trying to be the responsible one. Of course, I mean that's what a parent should always be, a good peer, I guess you could say. But in a way, they shouldn't care too much about certain things. So like to me, school. Look, my parents was real strict on me about school. I really don't see school being something to be super strict about. And the reason is because school's not the only thing that defines their path. It's the decisions that they make along that journey. So,
I mean, the real reason why parents are so strict with school, to be quite honest, is because they don't want to go to jail.
hey, hang on, no.
Because
I'm talking about getting A's and B's,
I
like
mean,
that kind of strict.
every parent wants their kids to do good, basically do good in school, so that way they can like do something further past school. Like that's kind of like every parent's thing. You want them to do
So,
good in school.
so what do you think this school? So you think with?
I mean,
Let me
I
ask you
mean,
this. Hang on, let me ask you this. Without school, do you think the kids would not have the same opportunities?
they would, but at the same time, do you think they're gonna be wise enough to know like that they have like a whole bunch of opportunities if they're just secluded to one area?
I mean, no. You are correct. I agree with you on that. I mean, I do agree. But the thing is like most parents
Well,
is very strict on it, and
yeah,
that's what I
there's a
mean.
lot of parents who are strict on it, but think about it though, like if you didn't go to school, would you have gathered any ideas, or would you just been like in your room just doing what you do and not really thinking outside the box?
Whoa. I'm not saying, hang on. I'm not saying not go to school. I'm just saying be less strict on like for an example,
Well,
if my kid got a C, I wouldn't care. I mean, no, I would help
same
them on their homework a little bit more.
at
But
the
I'm not gonna
same
sit
time.
there. I'm not gonna sit there and go, a C's bad. You need to do better. Like I wouldn't
Well,
do
if
that.
you know your kid's potential, I mean, are you gonna be happy with a C if you know that your kid's better than a C?
If
Think about
I
it.
if I knew my
If you
kid at
know
least,
your
if
kid's
I
gonna,
knew my kid at least
let's say your kid would
tried.
be, let's say your kid that's mainly known for like doing B pluses when they actually try very very hard. You know, you see them studying, they're trying super hard, they get B pluses, and then they bring home like a C minus, D plus. Are you really gonna be like, it's all right, it's just school, or are you gonna be like disappointed because you know they're not trying?
It
Huh?
depends. Hang on,
Ask
hello.
you that.
No, 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 no,
No,
no. No, you didn't guess me. No, no, no.
I'm
Depends
thinking.
because wait a second. Here's why it depends. If they bring me 5 Ds in a row, sure, I can understand that. But if you bring me 1 D, I'm not gonna trip. 2 Ds, say in the last 3 months,
Who's to
sure, I'm
say
not gonna
that?
trip.
But if you let them pass with the first D, who's to say that they're not going to go ahead and just say, we'll go ahead and give him another D. Eh,
Well,
do C minus. That way he doesn't catch on to anything. D plus now, and you let one slide. Who's to say that's not going to let the other one
well,
slide?
hang on. Like I said, if there's a pattern, I mean, of course I'm gonna crack down a little bit. But if there's no pattern and it's occasionally and it's not often, I mean, of
Mm.
course not.
What usually starts off a pattern, though?
There is no pattern because as I noticed that as
What
soon
would
as I
start off,
notice,
start off a pattern?
what would start off a pattern?
What starts off patterns usually?
A
Like when
D,
you started
a
smoking, say
C,
what when you started smoking cigarettes. How did you start and smoking cigarettes start?
one little cigarette.
And when and did that become a pattern?
Hang on, because I'm actually trying to sit here and think about it. Because and naturally it did, but then it didn't because I broke that pattern.
What pattern did you get to next?
Nothing. I actually quit
You
smoking. I
you
quit
don't smoke
smoking.
anyway?
I quit smoking. Hang on. I quit smoking for 3 years.
And what did you start? And what did you begin smoking again?
Pot,
Something else.
pot.
Yeah.
And then I started
Is that
smoking
not
cigarettes
a
again.
pattern?
But the point was though is that I actually took the time and that pattern got broke. Like I was able to break that pattern. It's no
You
different.
didn't break the smoking pattern.
Yeah, I didn't. I took 3 years off.
No, that's smoking tobacco.
No, I took 3 years off completely. I didn't smoke anything.
You didn't
I was
smoke pot or anything.
no, no
Oh
pot.
well,
Yeah, I was gonna say
I didn't
I
know that.
completely quit smoking and then started back
What
up.
what took you back?
I was stressed. I needed something to take the edge off. I was feeling moody constantly.
Another thing started the pattern.
Wait, what?
So something else started the pattern.
Yeah, something else started the pattern. Yeah.
So something always starts a pattern.
Yeah, but
It
you can
always
always
starts.
see the hang on, but you can always see the pattern. That's the problem. You can always see the pattern. Look, I'm gonna be honest. When I quit smoking, I knew if I ever did anything, I would end up smoking again. Like I already
And
knew it.
so let's take this back to like say your kid's like a B plus A minus student and they
Hmm.
showed it consistently through and then they just go ahead and just show like a D minus. I mean, you're thinking like
Well,
there's no they didn't try.
I'm
You
not gonna
know?
think. Hang on, I'm not gonna think that though.
Are you gonna want to snap the pattern right away and
Well,
make sure
hang
you're
on. Yes. Hang on. Wait a second. Yes. But it depends. Hang on. Yes, I would want to snap the pattern, but the pattern. Hang on. Here's the problem. The pattern that I
Well,
would
you don't
see.
have to like you don't have to put them in the room for like
No,
like
no. But the pattern. But here's the problem. The pattern that you're phrasing as is a 1 in a million chance. And what I mean. Hang on. And what I mean by that, I'm gonna explain it because there's 5 different grades you can get. Okay.
well, I
If
know
you're
there's
hang
five
on.
different.
Right. Just let me explain. If 2 of them are average, averagely what your kid gets. Okay, that's a 2 out of a 5 chance of them getting any other. Correct?
Okay.
All right. So
Or
with that being said, if your kid say randomly gets a D, that ain't gonna throw the pattern off. You'll be like, 1D it might have been a little hard. They might not have tried hard enough. Sure, but if they get a D and a C back to back, say for an example, my kid got a C first and then got a D, that's an issue. That's a decline. That's an issue. But if they just get 1D and then go back to an A and B, that's not a problem. Do you see what I'm saying? Like there has to be a continuous of that pattern. One
In
D,
that process, though, did you do any type of crackdown? That's the
no.
that's
Well, hang on. Yes,
that's
yes.
the
When there was a
yeah.
C and a D. When there was a C and a D. Because that again, that shows a decline. You got to help that. You got to beat that. Because that
So
decline, what does that decline go to? An F.
so in other words, you're showing that you are going to care about school. You're going to be strict about school.
No.
You are. You are. Think about it, because when I moved to a different school after my parents split up and whatnot, of course I started slacking in grades. So, you know, D's, I brought home some D's. I didn't want to bother to try. But you know what? Everyone thought it was just because it was my way of basically just coping with everything and all the changes.
Right.
So brought in home another, like, C, C plus, some C's in there. Same ordeal. That really it was like, it looks like he's bringing it back up, and I just kept it constant after that. No one really tried to fix it because
Hang on.
they
But
figured.
see, hang on. At that point, it looks like you try to bring it up. That would be my fix. If you got a D and then got a C, I'm fixing that. But
But
now
I
if you
didn't try.
got say you got one D, say once a month, you got a D. One D.
Uh,
I'm gonna let it be. Now
as a
if I see a C and a D every other week, once a month, that's a problem to me.
but as a child, you see that D first, and then you see a C, but then you start seeing D's again. Think about it. As a kid, I'm much smarter than you would think. Like, I kind of made sure it wouldn't go up too high, and then it would sink back to keep it nice constant. But no one really cracked down on me just because of all the bullshit that was going on. So now, reiterating right back to the fact that, are you going to be the type of parent that's going to let it, you know, you're going to try to get it back after that first bad grade, make sure they're doing better than what they were before, or you just going to let it slide for a second or third one?
Well, like I said, if I see a second or third one, I'm gonna situate the issue. But that doesn't hang on.
Yeah,
But that doesn't make me care about school.
but you are caring about school, though,
How?
because you don't want to see another D, because you know they have better potential than that.
Yeah, but what I
So
mean
now
is
that and you just said that you were going to help them with their homework, if that way it wouldn't continue. So in
correct.
other words, you just proved that you do care about their schooling. And you care about the fact that they are doing bad in school, because you want to help them now. So in other words, in conclusion, you actually do care about what they do in school if you think about it.
I mean, in a sense, I guess I can see where you're going, but like, when I say I don't care about school, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and go, well, you gotta go to school every day. You need to be there every day. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be truthfully honest. If my kid 18 and wanted to drop out of school, that is their choice.
That at that point, honestly, it's senior years watching your kid graduate. That's not for them. That's not for them. That's for you.
I honestly don't care for that. I didn't even. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't graduate.
Yeah, well, think about it. Like, that's all the. Well, you also missed out on like thousands of dollars, by the way, for graduation parties.
And thousands and like $500 for a fucking tux that I would only wear once.
You don't need to wear a tux.
Dude, that's what everybody was showing up in, bro. I promise you. I went
I
to a couple. I went to a couple after proms, dude. Everybody be showing up in tuxes and stuff. It's
then
like, bruh, no need for this.
just wear a nice polo and some khakis that you would have in your closet. You're
He says,
good, dude.
throw some khakis on.
Well, no one wore tuxedos, man. That's just a flex for no reason.
But
But yeah, I
Gage,
would definitely care about school, especially if I know that if my kid gets into, like, say in high school she's like doing like geometry at like a freshman as a freshman, and then she's able to move all the way up to like calculus or something, like, yeah, she's gonna work hard. Yeah,
so you're gonna be that. So let me get this correct. You're gonna be that parent that says, "Stay in stool." I need you to do good. You got an F. That's bad.
It's not a matter of I want you to do good. It's not that I need you to do good. It's just that I want you to do good. Need and want's a different thing. And on top of that, I mean, like, if she brought home like a B and like a calculus and from calculus, like, I'm cool with that shit. Who
So you're not.
cares?
So you're not happy with a C. Is that's what I hear? Is Pottie's not gonna be happy with a
Not
C?
not a C, because I know my daughter's smarter than that, and she's only 4.
And what? You don't think that shit's hard? Look, wait, hang on. You don't think what they used to teach us to what they teach
If
now
she
ain't
can
hard?
get into calculus, if she can get into calculus, it's not gonna be that hard for
He's like, she gets into calculus. Shit, she can fail all she wants.
her. She can get into high math like that and stuff like that. Like she's got a curve in there because she's already had in college at that point if she wants to go to college or if she wants to go to like a trade college or trade school or
Right,
something.
right. We kind
Something
of.
that way. Because a diploma, if you really think about it, will take you much further than a GED. It will, if you really think about it. That's kind of why you also want your kid to get a diploma. It's going to take them much further. That's just how it is. On top of that, you kind of want to take a little pride in the fact that you saw your kid graduate and they're going to be off to better and bigger things. So it's kind of like just one
I'm gonna be
last
honest.
shot to get all the pictures in before they go away for college or something,
I'm gonna be
wherever they
honest.
land.
I believe that they have the same opportunities. I
Yeah,
don't believe it
all it
changes.
is you're allowing school to expand their opportunities
And
because if
hang
you
on, it's not even.
uh,
It's hang on, it's not even that. Not even at all. So you do understand going to school, and I'm not saying don't go to school. That's
it,
not what I'm
it
saying here. What I'm saying, hang on a second. What I'm saying is that going to school and not going to school, like you literally get the same equal chances.
not
They hit.
exactly.
Hang on. They all meet at the same road. The only difference is that when you have your high school diploma, GED, college, whatever, it makes it easier for you to get those positions. Yes, if you don't go to school, you have to work harder.
So
But
not the same opportunity
hang on, wrong though, because I can literally do the same thing as everybody else. Hang on, what tells you that I'm a less of a doctor than a doctor that's been to school for 8 years for it? Nothing.
because they went to school for 8 years for it and
And
learned a lot
I
more than
spent 8 years learning how to be a doctor. That wouldn't change anything.
you just said. That what makes you different than a person that went to school to be learning how to be a
Exactly.
doctor.
Hang on. Went to school to learn
You
how to be
didn't
a
even
doctor.
mention for the fact that you were studying to be a doctor.
Hang on. I didn't study because I didn't go to school.
So no,
I
I'm
got
not trying.
experience from being in the force of being a
They wouldn't
doctor.
give you the force though.
Think so?
No, they wouldn't.
You'd be surprised how many people are nurses and never went to school to be a nurse.
That's because they went to a trade school.
No, didn't go to school at all. Like, period.
Or they went to high school. You also can do pioneer stuff like that and whatnot. It's like a trade school. You still go to school regardless, and they can only do so much stuff for as being a nurse. So they're not really like nurses. Like if you want to go higher up, you have to literally continue your education to get higher up. The people who are nurses, they're not technically like nurses. They're just they're basically the SDNAs. They're the lower part of the totem pole when it comes to doctors, but it's stuff that you can still learn while you're in high school because you are learning it
Like,
and in a trade school.
okay, well,
But
they
if you
didn't do
want to
that.
get higher, if you can't be a doctor though, if you don't continue the schooling,
Okay, well, I could tell you right now, I know somebody that didn't go to school at all, didn't
and
take
is a
no
doctor,
classes on it, and is legitimately a doctor.
a doctor
A doctor.
cannot be. That's not really how that works though.
He literally, I don't know how, but he's a doctor. Literally has his own office and everything. He's a doctor. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you literally have the same opportunities. You just got to work harder for them. You got to work way harder. Just like, hang on, just like how you said that, in order to be a nurse, there's actually, you're right, there are different types of nurses, but they're still all called nurses. So like, no matter what like my old lady was a nurse. She never went to school. She didn't go to college to get her nursing. She literally was a nurse.
Depends on what kind of like. I guess it just depends because like you gotta think like most of the time you are literally having to go to some kind of schooling to do that stuff. You
She
can't
didn't.
just
She literally they showed her a couple videos and go, okay, do your job.
give her some training videos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends on what she's doing, really.
She was a nurse, bro.
I
But I
mean,
mean, I've also been given a position. I've also been given a position though where you got to have a college degree, and I don't have no college degree. I've never been to college. I never graduated high school. And look, dude, was in the position of a supervised senior manager at a warehouse doing inventory, filing, and shipments. Like,
really require a degree, honestly.
but they're to them that does.
Yeah, a lot of businesses are weird about that, but that type of work does not require a degree at all.
But my point being though is like all these positions that you need a big degree, like you need a degree in, you don't have to go to that school to get that degree. You could do it from experience. Note, it will take a lot longer and it will be a lot harder, but you could always do it without it. That's
Trust
what I'm.
somebody who didn't go to college for and spent 12 years to be a doctor. Like I don't know if I could trust that.
I mean, I don't know if I could. Hang on, I don't know if I could trust someone that went to school for 12 years and never did a real fucking surgery. I don't know if I could trust that. Never done a real surgery, but went to school to do it. But we trust that. But we can't trust someone with the experience of being a doctor compared to someone that has that knowledge but no experience.
Well, they do their demonstrations and stuff.
Hang on, this demonstration is not the same as a real human being on the table bleeding out or needing a new heart.
It is a human being.
No, it's not. They do. Hang on, no, it's not. They do pigs. They do pigs.
You're thinking like anatomy and stuff.
Mm.
Well, I guess
But-
anatomy is, but that's like.
Yeah. They don't use real human beings, bro. And if they do, hang on, and if they do, it's a dead person. If they do, it's a dead person. No real human being they allow them to do that on. Not just dummy training, no. Now they do foreshadowing so they can learn and kind of get some experience.
I was gonna say like for like the dissecting of pigs, like you do that in high school.
No, you do that. You dissect frogs. Frogs and owls. Frogs and owls. We've never done a pig.
I heard anatomy students who were dissecting pigs and stuff when I was in school.
We never did pigs. We did frogs and owls. And the only thing we did with the owls is fuck with their shit.
In anatomy, they were dissecting all sorts of stuff, man.
Dude, we didn't do nothing like that.
They even dissected a cat, I think.
But, Gage, how do you feel about the attitudes of what parents should be and how parents are?
So I feel like what parents should be is not like buddy with their child, but like when they're bad, you discipline them, and like yeah, you can be stern, but don't go overboard. I don't know that. I don't know. Like I don't know a way to view it yet, really.
Okay, we'll put it like this. If you had to discipline someone else's kid, would you discipline them any differently?
No. I mean, well,
Yeah.
like
I could never discipline someone else's child like my own child.
So if that kid was screaming and crying, you would let him do it in the grocery store. No discipline. You said you would not discipline them in the
Here's
same.
thing.
No, you did. Did he not just hang on?
How you treat your kids.
Hang on. Did he not sit there and say he would not discipline them the same way?
Would you treat someone else's child as you would treat your own child?
Damn straight. Hang on. Damn straight I would.
I would not, because that's not my child. I can't discipline them the same way as my child. which means I will not also do the same things with them as I would with my child, like
Oh,
take them to a grocery store and stuff like
that shit
that.
would
Because
change.
if
No,
they need
see,
to
to
keep their
me,
head up, they can do it in my house because I don't have the time and
Um,
patience to deal with
look,
them
to
alone.
me, to me, I wouldn't
And
allow
then
it.
the parents about how badly their kid was acting, and
Oh,
then they can
hell no.
discipline them
Oh,
as a parent.
hell no. Like, I'm gonna be, look, listen. For
I
real.
don't
This is how
discipline
it's gonna
them.
be. I'm gonna discipline the kid the same way I would discipline my kid because they ain't acting like a fool. That makes me look bad. I don't care if I'm a guardian or not. Okay, I don't care if they're there or not. Hang on. If this is at my house, it might be just a tad bit different, meaning that they might be able to scream and cry because I allow my kids to do that though. Okay? And when it comes to the parent, if the parent ain't around, I'm not gonna fucking tell the parent every little thing I'm doing. Now, when they come and get their kid or I drop their kid off, I will tell them that I discipline them for what and how bad I discipline them, and then they can deal with it how they want. Because look,
Not with my
at the end of the day, every kid should act respectful. No different than their color, their age, they all should act the same.
here's the reason why I'm not doing that. All right, because mainly due to the fact that you don't know how those parents are gonna take that. You know, the last thing you want to do is get hit with some kind of stupid child abuse thing, even though you put them in their care. Those parents would have every right to do whatever they want and how they want to prosecute you in any sort of way. So why take that chance instead? Just let them know what they did wrong, and if they want to go ahead and be like, well, this is how this kid's been acting all day long, so it's your problem now. I didn't discipline him at all. If you want to discipline him, you go discipline him your
But
way.
now
I'm
you're
gonna
teaching your kid that it's okay.
no, because and as a matter of fact, no, because my kid knows better, because they know they know I'm
Th-
not gonna hit someone
hang on,
else's
hang on, that doesn't matter.
kid
guys,
sees
I
another
gotta
kid
go.
not get disciplined by by their own father does not mean that
Thank
I'm
you.
allowing them to be shown that they can do whatever they want. That's not how it works. Because when another kid that's not mine is doing something bad, I look at my child and I look at her and say, "Don't do that because you will get disciplined." I'm not afraid to discipline you. I just won't discipline someone else's child because you don't know how the parents are going to be about it.
That is true.
Not gonna take the chance showing anything. You just have to let your child know that they can't get away with it, and if they do, you will discipline them. I mean, I'm not afraid to discipline my child in front of another kid. I
Yeah, the
will.
big thing is I'd be worried about how the parent would react.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna discipline someone else's child just because of how the parent could react. Uh,
Right.
they could hit you with the child abuse thing. Yeah, so I'd rather not deal with that. It's not it's not showing weakness in front of my kid. It's me showing the fact that I'm trying to be a little bit more responsible with something that's out of my hands because I can't do anything about it. So I rather not be prosecuted by the parents. But if my kid wants to go ahead and do that same thing, I am going to discipline them. But I'm going to discipline them in front of that child so they see what happens when my
I think it can. I think it contributes to how you also treat your kids.
I agree.
How
I
some
agree.
people.
All right. Potsy though. What I was saying is that so like put it like this. You was talking about how parents would how they could prosecute you. I'm gonna be honest. If they had my kid, do you think it would be any differently? Hang on? Do you think I would be upset if they disciplined my kid? Hell no. For one, you say how. Hang on. Just let me finish. You say that you wouldn't allow your kid to do that, but you would allow someone else's kid. And you say it's not teaching your kid because you'd be in the background telling your kid not to act like that. Hang on, that doesn't fix the fact that if your kid's over at that kid's house and they act like that, you can't do nothing about it. And no offense, and I'm not saying you're a bad parent, no offense. And the way I'm gonna say this is gonna make it sound bad. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around and say that, like, a bad parent is a parent that disciplines for when it's uncalled for. Meaning that, say my kid stays a night at someone's house, okay, and they act bad, and then they come to my house. The discipline hour is already gone past that. So what's the discipline gonna do now? Punish them for nothing? You know what I mean? Like you gotta
you're gonna punish them. You had to go pick them up in the middle of the night. You're gonna punish them.
hang on. No one said you're picking them up in the middle of the night. What happens if they kept them all night? What happens if they would stay in the night? That's what I'm saying. Like for instances like that, you can't act like that. Like I understand you're worried about the parent,
That's
but I'm gonna be honest, I'm not worried because look, here's the thing. If you're gonna try to get me on my child, check my child. There is no bruises. I don't beat my kid. I discipline my kid for the way that I want them to act, and that is a respectful human being, not a barbarian.
time. I'm not gonna raise someone else. I'm not gonna show someone else's kid how to act because if their parents are already teaching them how to act like a barbarian, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna take the time to restructure them. Hold on, I'm not gonna take that time because that's not my responsibility. For one, I'm not doing that. Two, if my kid's going over to somebody else's house to spend the night and stuff, and of course I hear some of the things, if the parents do tell them to not do it and she does it, and then I hear about it, I am going to discipline my child for that. It doesn't matter how long it's been. But if they let them get away with that and they don't want to tell me anything, then, it's just one of those things where she has a little spot where she can kind of go be a bad kid for a little bit, and then she knows how to act at home.
Yeah,
But
and then it creates that
it's not going to
it
go very
creates.
young.
Hang on, you don't think so? Then so you're telling me that from that instance, them knowing that whatever they do, they don't get in trouble because you don't know about it is okay.
Oh,
And the only reason I say that, and the only reason I say that is because that's how my parents used to be. They used to not punish other people's kids, but punish us, and then punish us for after we did something wrong after someone told them, which is I get is valid, but at the same time you create that mentality in their brain, like my brain, that tells me, well, if I go out and stay a night at a friend's house and we smoke pot and we smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol, my parents don't know about it. I can't get in trouble for it.
well, my I would know exactly what she would have been doing, especially by the way she would be acting.
No, she
So
didn't. Not if she didn't come home until the
if
next day.
she, yeah, if she went and got drunk, yeah, I would know.
You would smell it.
Um,
That's about it. You would
no,
smell it.
smell it. No, smell it. You'll see it. The way
Not
they
if she
act.
does. Hang on. Not if she does not come back that night.
Yeah, and most of the time, I'm probably not gonna let my kid spend the night at anyone's house, honestly, just because she is a girl.
But hang on. So you're telling me even if she has girlfriends?
Like, no, like because you don't know how. Like, think about it. Like, you don't a kid can get molested at any time by anyone.
So hang on.
So
So hang on. Because hang on. Let me get this straight.
think
Because of
about
your
it.
fear, you're gonna bubble your kid up.
Oh, it's my girlfriend's fear mainly, but at the same time, it's
But that's
like
what I'm
if I
saying. That's what I'm
like
saying.
if the parents
You gotta
really
let your
really
kid be free. You gotta let them go to places, stay a night at someone's house. And I'm not saying, hang on. I never once said a boy's house, sir. Just gonna clarify
I
that.
know that, but you also don't
I
know
have
about
daughters too.
yeah,
Remember
you
that.
don't know how that those parents' fathers could be behind
You
closed
know
doors.
what? You know what? You deal with it. You deal with it then. You can't.
Yeah,
You
but then
can't live in. You can't live in fear. Then you make your kid live in fear.
I gotta shoot somebody, and then I gotta go to prison, and then who's gonna take care of my family then?
Your wife.
She don't make enough money,
Oh, she will.
but like I would have to go shoot somebody afterwards. Like
So what,
I would not take the chance.
bro? You can't. You can't. Look, I've always been told you lie to your kids to shield them from the darkness, but that's
I
not
wouldn't
always the
say
truth.
I would say it's like shielding them. It's not really shielding them. What are you gonna learn at the age of 16, 15 years old, 14 years old when you're a teenager? You don't really learn anything. You just think that your drama is no
Oh,
one's
oh,
gonna know that.
hang on. Pottsie says you don't learn anything. I just want to note this real quick. You said you don't learn anything.
Yeah.
But let's talk about how when you was a kid, what'd you learn? I don't care. Hang on. I don't care that you're a boy. What'd you learn? Porn, sex, cigarettes, marijuana, drinking, driving, watching
For one,
TV, playing video games.
for one, I didn't start drinking and smoking until I was 17, 18 years old.
So what? You still learn about that as a teen.
Yeah, but I also didn't get into it. But I already knew about it a long time before. But I also didn't want to. I also didn't touch it.
So hang on.
So
That was you though.
you're not really learning anything about it though. Mainly your teenager years are mainly experience. You're experimenting, if anything. You're not really
You can't,
learning
and
anything.
exactly, you can't stop those experiences either.
Did you learn like you're not really learning anything of value.
High school definitely wasn't no value. I tell you that. Look. I'm gonna be honest. Look,
You
all
don't
that
learn
stuff,
no value.
all that stuff was nonsense because we don't even use half of it.
Thing is though, like as
And I made. Hang on. Let's just note. Hang on. I want to note something for the podcast. I did make it to my senior year. I just didn't graduate. I ended up dropping out. I just want to note that because like a lot of people are going to be very judgmental on this and like when I say you don't have to go to school, I'm not saying just drop out because you want to. If you have a reason to not continue going to school, I can understand. I'm also though saying that if you do drop out, don't feel bad about it because you do have opportunities. You just got to fight
opportunity,
for them.
like you might have to make that part of the opening scene.
I know, right? Right, dude. Like, I just want to
Like,
make sure that's noted because, like, a lot of people, seriously, a lot of people judge on that. And I know that you might a little bit, but in all honesty, you really don't need it. Like, I mean, it is helpful. I agree. I agree with everybody. It is helpful, but you don't need it. Look,
here's the thing though.
there's many people that have started companies and make millions and have never finished high school. Millions of people.
I will say though, back to what I was gonna say though, like as a teenagers don't really learn anything of value. Now, if I was to hang, now if I was there's gonna be times where you sit down with your kid when they're teenagers and you get those little few minutes to chat with them. If I was able to spend enough wisdom of value that she would see as she goes down, as she keeps going down her path, and she starts realizing what I'm saying is true, and then those
I
few
mean, yeah,
minutes
hang on.
that she
Normally, that's
gives
after
me
their
can
experience that they
thrive.
realize that we was
It's not
correct.
really experience. It's a matter of like, because most of the time when you tell things to your kids, they just, especially when they're teenagers, they kind of just look at you like,
Whatever.
that's not a thing. That's
Right,
not a thing.
whatever.
And then you just was like, well, you'll see it eventually, but when you do see it, make sure you come back to me and we can
Tell me that I was right, right.
because you're gonna see it. But like that, so like if I can just hit them with a few little note points, with a value, something that it sticks, but it doesn't really stick until they actually see what I'm actually talking about. The
Right.
thing is, though, I rather be able to hit them with that within 2 minutes versus them going out, then all of a sudden, running into like drugs and not wanting to actually hear what I have to say. I don't care.
No,
I don't care if my kid smokes pot down the road and experimentation wise, or you know, as long
right.
as they're not doing like stuff that's gonna get them into like
Prison, jail
bad,
time, dead.
bad trouble. So
Prison,
that
jail, and dead.
abducted, stuff like that. But like, I have to know, for one, like I gotta know the other parents before I would ever let my child.
Well, of course.
I have to know the parents. Like I gotta know what this parent's
I am.
like.
I'm not gonna lie. I would personally meet with the parents first
Like
before I would
I
let my
gotta do
kids
some
stay.
homework first. I gotta
Right.
meet the parents, then I gotta do some homework.
He's like background checks.
There's Facebook for everything.
He's like
I can
background
learn
check, please, and oh, okay, so no.
I can learn everything I need to know about somebody just by reading statuses. Not joking. I can
I can
learn
agree.
everything I need to know by a status
I agree. I ain't gonna
without
lie.
even knowing people.
I don't post a lot about my kids, but it's also because I don't want that information out there.
Yeah, I don't neither. Like, I'm sure you see my Facebook. It's non-existent. And you're Facebook friends with me, and you probably don't even see anything of
No,
me. I'm like
no, I don't. I don't. I mean, dead ass honest. I don't see no posts.
I'm non-existent.
Right. So like that. I'm gonna be honest. The only thing I use Facebook for nowadays is Messenger and to like share shit, like
Yeah, if you didn't
videos.
message me, you probably wouldn't even know that I was still on your Facebook friends list.
Oh, I would have known. I see your name literally hang on. Your name is literally at the top of my bar when you're online. So like I always see you.
Your stuff, right? Well, that's because because you message me more than
Yeah.
most people. So
Yep.
like, if you were to message other people a little more than me as well, like they would be up there before me.
Oh yeah.
But like, but if you didn't see any of that, you wouldn't even think I had a Facebook still.
No, I agree. I would have been like, damn, Pottsie got rid of Facebook?
Yeah, I don't exist on Facebook. I don't exist at all. Like I might have a Facebook, I might be in your friends list, but I don't exist.
Right. No, I get
So
it. He's like, I'm just there waiting for my kid to get Facebook so I can monitor them.
everything else about everybody because everyone posts their statuses and stuff, and I
Dude,
read them.
it's terrible. I think that's kind of terrible. Everybody posts their personal information on social media.
Yeah, I read them that way I can keep up.
He's like, hey, I know about your life now.
Because people will tell me about how things are going. It's like, yeah, I saw that on Facebook. It's like because I'm also giving tidbits like I know exactly what's going on in your
You
life.
still exist to me.
About it just from your statuses. Other people know about it as well.
Right,
If it's
right.
something you don't want people to know about.
Should be
just
posting
your
it.
friends, other people doesn't matter if they're like your statuses are actually public to anyone, really.
Well, you can subjugate them to only friends.
That's true.
But who wants to do that? Who wants to do that?
No one's got.
I don't got the
No
time for
one
that.
really does that.
I
Honestly.
was gonna say I don't got the time for that.
Thing is though, like a lot of people also want to try to be as popular as possible. So no one does that. But like it's my way
See,
of letting people know, like, hey, if I know what you're doing already by reading your statuses, I know everything that you've been through. Who's to say someone else?
right? No, I agree. I agree.
So,
My thing is like I really don't care for the social media for the popularity. Like it's not my. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not money driven. I'm not public driven. Like I don't care. Like for real. Like to me, it's just another thing, another day. Like for real. Like Facebook is eventually. Well, think about it. We had MySpace. We had Yahoo. Where are those?
MySpace. Leave MySpace alone, bro.
Dude, I have a video. Hang on. I have a video literally showing people how to make a MySpace account.
Like MySpace was great.
It was.
Think about it.
It was.
How cool was MySpace?
It was pretty cool when I was a kid. When I was a kid, that shit was the shit.
Someone goes in your space, the music that you wanted to be your theme music, came on.
Dude, you would see, look, you would hear it, you would see everybody's backgrounds, their different colors, logos, all different types of shit. It was pretty cool.
Friends that they got going on. You see who's in their top 8, top 5, top 10,
Yeah.
Like, and you would hear music. There's a music playlist you can go to as well. MySpace was cool.
It was.
It was just statuses and pictures.
It really. It really.
Like, Facebook really ain't that cool.
No, it's not. It's not even great like that.
Mark, but your Facebook sucks.
MySpace is better. No, I agree, dude. Like MySpace was the shit, but my point was being is like, they got over pushed by Gmail and Facebook. Like it's gonna be the same thing over and over again. And like I was telling Gage, the history tends to repeat itself. It always does. Like we're gonna end up getting something different, better than Facebook, which in all reality is not gonna be any better.
Twitter, well, X.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's no longer called Twitter. Can't call it Twitter.
Snapchat.
Snapchat's Instagram. Hang on, Snapchat's just Instagram, right? Just messages for Instagram.
It's basically it's still Facebook in a way if you think about it. You're just uploading pictures with captions.
Just like the stories on Facebook. Literally, that's all people do nowadays is literally pictures and captions.
Yeah, it's just pictures and captions. Like you couldn't put captions on your pictures on Facebook. Now it's really cool to put captions on your pictures just because it's Snapchat. No, it's stupid. Oh, but my parents have Facebook. Well, don't add your parents to your
Right. Don't add your parents. And then you got some of them kids that go, well, I have to have my parents on Facebook. Okay, make sure you look, hang on. I'd be that kid. I would be that kid that would literally exempt my parents from a post.
Everyone has two options: confirm or decline. You don't have to. Your parents aren't looking over your shoulder like you better confirm that. No, they're not.
I mean, hang on. They might turn around and come back the next day. Why'd you deny my friend request?
It's like, I don't want you on my friend request. That's my personal stuff. Simple as that.
What are you hiding on Facebook? That would be some
You'll never
seriously.
know.
That would be some stuff that my parents would say. What are you
It's
hiding
like,
on
you'll
Facebook?
never know because I'm never gonna accept your friend request. Like, fuck. You're not gonna know.
Pottsie was that kid that was when Facebook came out. My Facebook.
Parents until I got older. So like my mid-20s. They didn't know what I was doing.
Right. They probably didn't even know what Facebook was.
They did. They didn't even know I existed on Facebook.
He's like, I couldn't find you. Are you under an alias?
It's just how it goes.
And we're gonna go ahead and end it there. And do me a favor, and like always, guys, stay in the shadows.